Hey folks, welcome to another day, another unboxing. I've got a pair of Poco phones to unbox today. The Poco X4 Pro 5G and the Poco M4 Pro 4G. I've already unboxed the Poco M4 Pro 5G a while back, so I'll put it up there. And yeah, let's take a look. I'm going to start with the X4 Pro and then we'll look at the M4 Pro. All right, so here we are. This is the box, 5G connectivity. You know, the usual trimmings from Poco. Very nice. Nothing in the back. All right, let's open it up. Dun da da dun da da dun. Got a divider. You got the phone. And we've got another divider. And we've got a cable and a charger. And it says 67 watt. So 67 watt charger, proprietary, little orange coating here. The cable is going to be your usual Type A to Type C. You can see the Type C end here. The Type A end is right inside there. There it is. All right, so nothing unusual here. That's pretty standard Xiaomi stuff. We've got, of course, this 67 watt charger telling us this phone supports 67 watt fast charging, which is cool. Okay, so now let's have a look at the actual divider here. We've got a SIM removal tool, a case, and some manuals. So let's have a look at these. Warranty card, do not care. Quick start guide, we do care. Let's see what that looks like. Some illustrations. I always like some illustrations. Nothing too much here, multiple languages. And then we have the safety guide, nobody cares. Oh, it comes with a screen protector, and more importantly, we have this case, TPU case. Big fan of these because I don't like thick cases on my phones, and you know, they protect your phone. They don't get too yellow. They fit perfectly. You can get started with that. Interesting camera bump. Poco's been doing these bigger bumps for a while, so seems to be on point. So let's have a look at the phone, shall we? Here we go. So it's telling us Poco X4 Pro 5G, 120 Hz AMOLED display, dual speakers, nice. NFC, also nice. 108 megapixel pro-grade camera. Then there's a Snapdragon 5G processor of some kind. I believe it is a Snapdragon 695. 67 watt turbocharging with 5000 milliamp hour battery. And yeah, check out this big camera bump. All right, let's get it out of here. All right, that's half the battle. And now I think there's an IMEI sticker I need to remove back here. So I think the design trend of 2022, folks, is to copy the iPhone with slab sides, flat sides. You see that? Vivo's done it, Realme's done it, and now it's Xiaomi's turn with the Poco brand. Interesting. That looks pretty nice, and you can see the cool reflections here. Nice stuff. All right, let's talk about the cameras in a second. Let's go through the specs and fire this up real quick. So it's a pretty big phone, as you can see in my hand. It's a 6.67 inch AMOLED display. Again, 1080p. It's got 700 nits typical brightness, 1200 peak, which is going to be pretty bright. 120 hertz, which is nice. I don't think this is LTPO, so it doesn't vary this refresh rate very much. Nice little MIUI animation there. It's a pretty nice screen. As you can see, there's a bit of a chin down here, but look at that, nice and bright. Now there's a hole punch here for a camera. So let me tell you about that. 16 megapixel f/2.4. Don't know much else about it. Overall bezels are a little heavy, but again, this is a pretty affordable phone. Yeah, slab sides, very interesting. So the guts of this phone, as I said, Snapdragon 695 5G. This is an interesting chip because the 480 5G was a little underpowered, and of course the 700 series 5G are pretty expensive and pretty fast, so it's a good compromise. It does come in a number of different storage and RAM configurations. You get 6 gigabytes with 120 gigabytes or 8 gigabytes with 256 gigabytes, so you have a choice there. It does have micro SD up to 1 terabyte, and of course this is LPDDR4X and UFS 2.2 storage, in case you're curious. Now, the battery in here is 5000 milliamp hour. We've already gone over that. 67 watt fast charging. It does probably support PD charging as well, probably up to 18 or 30 watts, but no wireless charging on this phone, which is to be expected for this price point. Anyway, let's talk about these cameras because that has me excited. So the main camera is 108 megapixel f/1.9 with 0.7 micron pixels, and it pixels bin 9:1 down to 2.1 micron, which is going to give you 12 megapixel photos. There's an 8 megapixel ultra wide f/2.2 with 118-degree field of view. That's not too wide for an ultra wide. And then there's a 2 megapixel f/2.4 macro camera, aka a sticker cam. It's really just there to get a third camera in the back, including this AI logo one here, which is so fake that they put an AI stencil in there. So talk about fake. Yeah, but this camera pod looks cool. I like the industrial design. I kind of like squared off phones with the slab sides. So let me walk you through the edges. On the right side here, you have the volume rocker and the power lock key, which has an embedded fingerprint sensor capacitive. This is not under display, despite AMOLED. You have one of the two speakers that says stereo speakers. You get the primary mic, USB Type-C port, and then the SIM slot, micro SD slot. And then here on the left-hand side, there's nothing. On top, you have a headphone jack. You can see the grill for a second speaker and the secondary mic. And then here is an infrared transmitter, like a lot of Xiaomi phones. So that's it, folks. That's a quick look at this Poco X4 Pro 5G. Now we have another phone to unbox, so let's dig into that next, all right? Okay, so let's take a look at the Poco M4 Pro 4G now, the cheaper one of the two. This is the box. As you can see, Poco M4 Pro. There's some iMays on this side, nothing in the back. So let's go ahead and unbox this. Da, 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 da. Here we go. Nothing in here. Then we have a divider here and the phone. And we have another divider. And we have, again, the charger and the cable. Somehow this is backwards, so I'm just going to move it around. All right, 33 watt charger here in the box, again with the orange accent, 33 watt. Okay, cool. So that tells us how fast this phone can charge. Then we have, again, USB Type A to Type C here, A here, color keyed, C hiding back here. Nothing unusual here. You have to use this cable with this charger to get the fast speed. That's pretty normal. You know how it works. All right, so let's have a look at the insides here of this divider. SIM removal tool, yeah, same as before. Case, manuals, nothing too spectacular here. All right, quick start guide, we want to look at that. Same thing as before, you got some info on multiple languages. Then we have a safety information, and then we have a warranty card. And of course, it comes with a case, and this seems to have a similar cutout with a big camera pod on the back. So yeah, that's cool. I like these cases. They're nice. They don't get too yellow and they get you started. All right, let's have a look at the phone. Here we go. 90 Hz Full HD Plus AMOLED display. Not bad AMOLED. I was expecting LCD. 64 megapixel high resolution triple camera. 33 watt Pro fast charging. Why is it Pro? I don't know. 5,000 milliamp hour battery. And it's got a MediaTek Helio G86, which is a pretty decent 4G chip. So good stuff. All right, let's take this out of its little packaging here. And there's an iMac sticker, so I'm going to remove that. And here we go. So, ta-da! Again, very slab-sided. You see how flat these sides are? So I think they sent these to me together because they were announced at the same time, but also because aesthetically they kind of match. They're kind of like twins, if you want, right? Cool. All right, so now that we've fired this up, let's fire this one up. So first things first, we have a 6.43-inch AMOLED display, 1080p. This is a 90 Hz refresh rate. And then in terms of brightness, 700 nits, typical. 1000 nits peak, that's pretty high, it's pretty good. There's a little MIUI sound. And yeah, that's a decent looking display, but again, a lot of bezel on the chin down here. Surprising because usually AMOLEDs don't have that much chin. That's an LCD thing. We've seen this on Realme phones as well. I think there's a whole new generation of affordable AMOLED panels that have the display connector down there, and so they have to have a chin. But yeah, check this out. Look at this, how beautiful it looks. It's nice. A little bit bezel-tastic, but no different than the other one, really. All right, then you have this front-facing camera here. It's a 16 megapixel f/2.4, same as the other phone, it looks like. And under the hood, as I said, there is a MediaTek Helio G96. That's an octa-core chip. Your storage options and memory are 6 and 128 gigs or 8 and 256 gigs. There is microSD expansion up to 1 terabyte. Again, same deal here. Now, the battery under the hood here is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. We've already gone over that. It does have 33 watt fast charging, but no wireless charging. And yeah, it's a pretty decent package, honestly. So let's take a look at those cameras. All right, so 64 megapixel main camera, f/1.8, 1.4 micron pixels because it's 0.7 micron pixel bins 4:1. So you basically get, 1.4 microns and you get 16 megapixel shots. There's an 8 megapixel ultra-wide, f/2.2, and 118 degree field of view. Seems like it's exactly the same as the X4 Pro. And then we've got a 2 megapixel macro, f/2.4. Again, same deal, not surprising. So now let's look at the sides and the edges here. On the right side, we have a volume rocker and a power lock key with an embedded capacitive fingerprint sensor, no under display sensor here. You got one of the two speakers, you got the USB Type-C port, and you got the primary microphone, because this does have stereo speakers like the other one. On the left-hand side here, you have the SIM tray and microSD tray. Then you have a headphone jack on top, the second speaker, the secondary mic next to an infrared transmitter. Again, very typical Xiaomi. So yeah, look, these are twinsies, right? Check it out. One's a little thicker, but the slap sides all the way around here, and here we can see the way this is arranged, and there you go. So even the screens are kind of twinsies, and then the back is twinsies. Yeah, look at that. Cool, huh? So anyway, folks, this is the Poco X4 Pro 5G and the Poco M4 Pro 4G. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Please stay tuned for more content on the channel soon. Like this video, subscribe, tell your friends. Click the little notification bell below. Let me know in the comments, are you excited by these phones, especially if you're in markets outside of the US? Is this hitting the spot for you? Which one would you pick, depending on your budget? And yeah, let me know in the comments. Of course, remember this channel is a complement to my podcast at mobiletechpodcast.com. So you should subscribe and tell your friends. We're on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Spotify, everywhere good podcasts can be found. And there's also a Patreon, patreon.com/tankerl. That's patreon.com/TNKJRL. If you want to get special content, for example, a video version of the podcast that comes out earlier and has some unedited bits, or join the Discord server, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/TNKJRL. That's it, folks. I'll be back with more videos soon. Until then, cheers, everybody.